In the turbulent waters of the South China Sea, a quiet island nation is suddenly at the center of a global chess match. The Philippines, long overshadowed by bigger powers, is now emerging as a frontline in the escalating showdown between the United States and China, a tiny but strategically vital ally whose islands, runways, and naval bases could tip the balance in a high-stakes game of maritime power. In a bold move to strengthen its presence in the South China Sea, the Philippines has completed a 3-kilometer runway on an island right at the heart of one of the region's most tense territorial disputes. Thetu Island, known locally as Pag-asa, has been under Philippine control since 1971 and is part of the greater Spratlys Islands archipelago. Now, with the new airstrip capable of handling larger aircraft, including the massive C-130s, Manila is setting the stage to transform this remote outpost into a strategic military and civilian hub. The upgrade promises to dramatically improve connectivity to this isolated island, making it easier to move people, supplies, and equipment. But the runway is just the beginning. The Philippines Department of National Defense is also putting the finishing touches on a hangar and a control tower designed to make air operations smooth and efficient. These developments signal a clear intent. Manila is determined to solidify its foothold on Thetu, the only inhabited outpost in the disputed Spratlys Islands, and to keep pace with other claimants in the region, especially as tensions with Beijing continue to simmer. China, naturally, is likely watching every step closely, particularly any engagement between the Philippines and its allies, including the United States. For Manila, the significance of Pag-asa isn't just symbolic. Its strategic location, permanent civilian population, and solid landmass give the Philippines a strong legal and territorial claim under international law, including the right to a 12-nautical-mile territorial sea. In short, this tiny island has suddenly become a central piece in the high-stakes chess game of the South China Sea. Pag-asa Island isn't just a dot on the map. It's the Philippines' frontline in the high-stakes game of the South China Sea. Serving as both an administrative and military hub, the island is home to a civilian community, fishing villages, a runway, and key infrastructure that lets Manila assert sovereignty while keeping a close eye on maritime activity in these resource-rich waters. As the largest of the 9 features the Philippines occupies in the Spratlys archipelago, Pag-asa stands as a tangible symbol of the country's territorial claims. Its Rancudo airfield, harbor, and lighthouse aren't just facilities. They're the backbone of Manila's presence, projecting authority and maintaining a foothold in a fiercely contested region. Recent infrastructure upgrades have dramatically boosted the island's capabilities. The extended runway and new port facilities now accommodate larger aircraft and docking ships, enhancing both logistics and operational reach. But location is everything. Pag-asa sits just west of Loida Bank and a mere 14.4 miles east of Subi Reef, one of China's heavily militarized outposts. Analysts warn that as air traffic ramps up, the risk of collisions between Chinese and Philippine aircraft grows. A tense reality in a region where China has built 7 fortified bases and continues to expand its military footprint. China's man-made islands are a striking display of power. Covering more than 3,200 hectares in the Spratlys, they host fully operational naval and air bases, complete with airstrips capable of handling advanced bombers. By 2025, Fiery Cross Reef, Subi Reef, and Mischief Reef have become key strategic nodes, allowing Beijing to project air power and potentially threaten other claimants in the South China Sea. Against this backdrop, Pag-asa Island isn't just a military outpost. It's the Philippines' counterweight, a small but crucial stake in one of the world's most volatile maritime flashpoints. In the South China Sea, China has been steadily turning the Spratlys Islands into a fortress. Fiery, Cross Reef, and Subi Reef now boast 3,000-meter runways, and Mischief Reef has a cleared area ready for potential runway construction. These airstrips aren't just for show. They give China the ability to deploy advanced aircraft, including nuclear-capable bombers, extending its reach across the South China Sea, and putting neighboring claimants like Vietnam, the Philippines, and Taiwan on edge. The militarization of these islands has sent tensions skyrocketing, making every move in the region closely watched by global powers. The Philippines isn't standing idle, firmly challenging China's expansive claims, which Beijing insists are based on historic rights. The Philippines has the backing of the United States in its opposition. Across the waters of the West Philippine Sea, Manila has focused on Palawan, the strategic main island closest to the growing Chinese bases, as a hub to strengthen its defenses and secure its sovereign waters. In a show of close cooperation, the Philippines and the US have co-developed several military facilities on Palawan. Plans include repair and maintenance facilities for naval vessels, as well as military airfields and seaports. The US Navy is taking the lead on constructing not one, but two major repair and maintenance facilities, capable of supporting a wide range of naval assets. With confrontations between the Philippines and Chinese coast guards flaring in the surrounding waters, these upgrades aren't just infrastructure. They're a clear signal that Manila, with Washington's support, is serious about protecting its territory and maintaining a presence in one of the world's most contested maritime regions. The Philippines has given the green light to a US proposal to build a boat maintenance facility at a Philippine naval detachment in Palawan, officials confirmed. According to the US Embassy, the project will be based at Oyster Bay and in the municipality of Quezon, in western Palawan, a site that plays a critical role in resupplying and rotating the Philippines' naval forces to contested areas like Ayungin Shoal. Palawan sits on the front lines of the disputed South China Sea, waters that Beijing claims almost entirely. It's also home to the headquarters of the Philippine military's Western Command, which dispatches patrol ships, surveillance vessels, and aircraft to protect Manila's territorial interests. While the new facility is modest in scale, its location near flashpoints gives it outsized strategic value, enhancing the Philippines' ability to sustain operations in areas where confrontations with Chinese vessels have become routine. Although Oyster Bay isn't formally listed as one of the designated EDCA sites under the 2014 Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, the project underscores the broader framework of US-Philippine military cooperation. Amid rising tensions in the West Philippine Sea, this facility signals a deepening security partnership. Washington is increasingly stepping up support for Manila, helping make resupply missions safer and more efficient in these contested waters. The planned facility in Palawan adds to a growing network of US-funded infrastructure across the Philippines. Under EDCA, American forces have access to select Philippine bases, with warehouses, barracks, and other support facilities already built at 9 camps nationwide. Palawan itself hosts 2 military bases intended for joint use, highlighting its critical role in the alliance and the ongoing effort to strengthen the Philippines' defense posture in one of the world's most strategically sensitive regions. Antonio Bautista Air Base, one of the first 5 sites designated under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, EDCA, between the US and the Philippines, sits at the heart of Palawan's strategic defense posture. Located in Puerto Princesa City, this Philippine Air Force base faces the increasingly tense waters of the South China Sea and shares its single 2,600-meter runway with Puerto Princesa International Airport, blending military readiness with civilian accessibility. But the defense network doesn't stop there. Balabac Island hosts a newly developed airfield and naval base, one of 4 additional EDCA locations announced in 2023, alongside Camilo Osias Naval Base, Lalo Airport in Cagayan, and Camp Melchor de la Cruz in Gamu, Isabela. The Balabac facility boasts a 3-kilometer runway built for both military and civilian use, positioning it as a dual-purpose hub in a highly strategic location. Balabac sits near the Balabac Strait and close to Chinese military outposts, making it a linchpin in regional security. Its proximity, just 140 nautical miles, to Mischief Reef, a contested feature in the South China Sea that lies within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, but has been reclaimed and militarized by China, underscores its importance. Beyond its geopolitical significance, Balabac is central to the Philippine Navy's operations and the US-Philippine Defense Partnership, providing a vital base for patrolling and deterring foreign surveillance in the southwestern Philippines. Adding to its strategic weight, the Balabac Strait forms part of an international sea lane, connecting the West Philippine Sea to global shipping routes. The island's naval station, the westernmost outpost of the Philippine Navy, strengthens Manila's capacity to monitor activity in the region and safeguard its territorial waters. In short, from Antonio Bautista in Puerto Princesa to the new Balabac facilities, Palawan has become the Philippines' front line in the South China Sea, a critical hub where defense readiness and international cooperation intersect. The Philippines, a key US treaty ally, has become central to America's maritime strategy in the Pacific as China expands its naval footprint. The waters just north of the Philippines are more than just sea lanes. They're a critical gateway through the so-called First Island Chain, a line of strategic islands stretching from Japan to Taiwan to the Philippines, designed to contain China's naval ambitions and keep its fleet in check. This First Island Chain is part of a broader US strategy that relies on the territories of both America and its allies to limit China's naval access to the wider Pacific. In theory, it's a containment line, but in practice, the Chinese Navy, now the world's largest by hull count, has repeatedly tested it. Earlier this year, for example, Chinese ships conducted a high-profile long-range mission that circumnavigated Australia, demonstrating how far Beijing is willing to push its reach. For Washington, the stakes are clear. The Philippines isn't just another ally. It's a frontline in a high-stakes struggle over control of vital sea lanes and regional security. The US left its bases in the Philippines in the 1990s, only to return decades later. The reason? China is moving closer, especially in the South China Sea, and America needs Manila to help hold the line.